In a previous video, I talked about how many courses and seminars, webinars, and workshops we need to follow, to attend, to complete in order to get enlightened, to find the inner balance, stuff like that. But in this video, I would like to talk about how many techniques, methods, systems we need to know in order to be a good coach, a good healer. And I do this because I know that many of you are also already working with clients or are considering to work with clients. So I thought like, okay, why not give my perspective on things? Because I know that my perspective is not the common standard. So let's dive into it. Like, subscribe, and share. Hi, my name is Lotfi Mirat, and in this video I would like to talk about how many techniques, systems, methods you need to master, you need to have a degree in before you can be a good coach, before you can give value to your clients, before you can start charging money, before whatever. I decided to record this video, like I said earlier in the introduction, because I have a particular view on things. I'm not the only one, but it's not very common yet. And this view I've had for quite some time. Not just as a coach, but also in the corporate world. So we'll start with that, for you to understand, to get a better perspective of things. Between 2008 and 2010, or from 2008 to 2010, I worked in a company where I had to manage all the partnerships, the main clients and the business partners, as well as the marketing and communication, and that involved a lot of different things. I did not have, I still not have a marketing degree. I do not have a communications specialist degree. Actually, I have no official university degree. I have universal degrees. But what I did have was knowledge, especially when it comes to the marketing side of things. To give a simple example, at a certain moment we were setting up a new company, and we also needed to go with that new company to a fair, to have our own stand, to promote our services, and also to find new partners to team up with. By partners, I mean companies who had different expertise that would be giving added value to our services. And we didn't have much because we just started this company. So basically we had one flyer and we had some business cards. And we had a logo. So I did have to manage setting up a website, having flyers, brochures, a stand, of course. We decided that we would all be dressed the same way to be recognizable. And with many, or actually most of these things, I didn't have the experience as the person who manages these things. I did come across all these things through my previous experiences, and so in the end I was the person who connected a lot of specialists. I did understand enough from the different areas of expertise to understand what they needed, what they were communicating back to me, and what I had to translate to the other experts so that they would all work together harmoniously and have a good end result. I had 3 weeks time. Oh, and it was all in Spain while I was living in Amsterdam. After 3 weeks, exactly 3 weeks, we had an amazing stand. Other marketeers from other companies could not believe that all that was done in just 3 weeks from scratch. We had a bit of luck. We had a perfect location. I believe there was a company who cancelled or so. But everything was perfect except for one business card of a potential investor where there was a typo. Well, that doesn't count as a real mistake. So, and that was a huge success because we got new clients, we got new partners, and we really made a very good impression, which led to many more successes after that. So what's the moral of the story here? You do not need to be an expert in one thing in order to be good, in order to be actually able to get something done, because often you cannot succeed if there's only one thing that you know. And history has shown this. If you look at the pioneers of science, they were not just good at math or physics or biology or chemistry or... No, they were good at many things. They were polymaths. So coming back to the coaching, I started coaching from my personal experience as a recruiter, for example, and a manager, and an employee, of course. And then I started learning other things, so I started integrating them. When you look on my website in the About section, you will see a whole list of trainings, a whole list of teachers that I've had, and there's some overlap, but not all of them. And every time I learned something new, I took something from that and added it into the mix. So when people attend, for example, my breakthrough workshop, which generally is a full weekend, very intense and in-depth, there's not one technique we want to use. I'm going to use whatever technique is needed in that moment. So suddenly, I feel I need to organize a family constellation on the spot because that's needed to get certain things out to the surface. So, boom, family constellation. And today, as we're doing most of the stuff remotely, like you're watching this online, you're not sitting in front of me while I'm talking, I do family constellations through drawing. There are many different techniques I've learned, many methods I've learned, many, let's call them sciences that I've learned, and I combine, I use what I need to use every single time. And every time is different. Even if I think up front like, this client is like that client and I have similar problems, blah, blah, in the moment it will be different. And the strength, I believe, is to know when to use what in that particular moment that you're working with someone. And this is why I believe it will be a great added value if you master a few different things and if you have knowledge of more things. I also do sometimes refer a client to somebody else or a specific thing of which I do not know enough. When I feel that working with that person on this specific thing, with that method or the way that person works, will be very beneficiary to my client. And I've seen more coaches doing the same. So I recently got a referral. Another coach referred somebody to me because I'm good at something. And so, yeah, was sent to me. But there is not a number. But I would say that if you are a specialist in one thing only, you may lack perspective and you may be missing out on all the beauty that there is in the world and all the value that you can add to your clients by at least knowing what's there in the market and trying out new things, new flavors, for the sake to enrich yourself, but also in the end to be able to fine-tune what you're offering to your clients to be in line with who you truly are on the inside, because on the inside you're not just one thing. You're not just a heart, you're not just a lung, you're not just a stomach. We are a combination. Also when it comes to archetypes, when it comes to, if you're into astrology or into gene keys or human design, you will see that we have all those aspects in us. So believing that only one thing is enough, for me, is like very limiting. And you also see that many companies are failing like fuck because they only hire specialists, but they refuse to hire generalists, people who actually can connect these specialists together and get them to work together. Because we get specialists who speak each their own language. One speaks Chinese, the other speaks Swahili. They're not going to communicate well, because specialization often means tunnel vision. Oh no, tunnel vision. And I'm not saying specialization is bad, but it helps to be able to connect with other things, with other areas. So if you want to be a real good coach, enrich yourself. And it's not about the number of things you've done, it's not about the number of certificates you have, it's about the knowledge that you integrated. So the things you're living yourself, the things you're doing yourself, you're applying yourself in your own life, and using that to help your clients. This is why in my videos I often have stories of my experiences, or maybe of somebody else's experience, but it's always about things that happen and to show how certain knowledge can be used. I learned a lot from the graphic designer I was working with, who helped us improve a logo or helped us design the catalog and the flyers. I learned a lot from the web designer who created our website. They both explained to me why they were doing certain things. And because I understood that, I could communicate to the others like, okay, we're going to do this way. Yeah, but because there is that and that and that. And look, if we do like this. For example, I pushed through a logo change for the company, and we were already in 4 or 5 different countries. I pushed it through in 3 days. In the end, what I did, the most important moment was that I went to the CEO with 2 A3s, like this. was the new and the old logo. I just did like this. He was like, oh, that one. It's like, okay, can you please sign here? We're going to change the logo. It was not a very big change in the logo. We made the letters thicker and darker. And what I showed him was our logo in combination with our partner with whom we were going to share a stand. And their logo was very powerful. And so I showed him our old logo and the suggested new logo. And I knew what he would choose. And that was also an agreement I had with the graphic designer. I was like, okay, this is what I feel. And she was like, yeah, I felt that too. So yeah, I agree with you. I suggest you change something. I was like, okay, how about we prepare that and that? And then we show, okay, let's do that. And like this. But it was only possible because I already had been diving into things. So I started to see. And today, I still use the knowledge, what I learned in those years in my own graphics. I work with Canva, canva.com. Wonderful program, free program. I create my own graphics, my own stuff. I do remember a lot. And throughout the years, I've learned new things from other people who taught me about color blindness. I'm myself dyslexic, so I look at letter types. I look at contrasts, readability, visibility. And when it comes to creating videos, I have multiple light sources, for example. Setup of my camera, background, things like that. I've learned a lot throughout the years. And so I combine all the knowledge. And you can do the same when it comes to your coaching, how you present yourself, but also when you sit with your clients. So look at what makes you feel comfortable. Start by looking at what feels interesting, what inspires you, what you're passionate about. Even if it seems to be unrelated, if you feel it in here, like, oh, this is really interesting, do it. You will learn something from it. You will be able to use it. And maybe you'll make a certain shift in your career at a certain moment. That's only possible because you followed your passion. And don't forget, we generally have more than one passion. And they may seem totally unrelated at a certain point. You may see how everything is connected. So let your limits go, your limiting beliefs go. Try to put two sentences in one. And enjoy the journey, enjoy the flow. See you in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Like, subscribe, and share.